This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Abdul.
Sorry.
I'm just
I think your my voice was not listening. Okay, no problem. Sorry. Okay, but nobody was saying anything. Okay, anyway, I'm just creating one project. Okay. So I have created one WBS structure. So what we need to do, the previous class we have seen this structure. So the same thing what we will do, we'll just create it here in the system. Okay. So let me just create that network. Let's say the network is this plant 1000, anything, no problem. So let's say SAP implementation, this is our network. Okay, so now if you look at the scheduling, the date will take from first 7. Okay, now let's go to the activities, then we can list down this. So here these are weeks, so let's put it in days. So let's say, let me just put it here. So it will be 5. So 1 week is equal to 5. 5 working days. Okay, because when we are doing that, we have to be, should be 5 working days. Okay, so these are the number of days. So what I will do, I will just put it here as a special values. So let's remove this. Three V's, 4 is no control Z. Control
No,
Z.
column G should be everything's fine, huh?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That just by dropping that, it automatically copied wrong number. Okay, now it's correct. So here I will put this 110. Yeah, 110 is there. So let us just copy this. Yeah, just copy this. So these are the activities. Okay, now we need to put, say, initiation will be part of implementation, then BBP, all BBP, I will put it in the BBP side. Then we have configuration is a part of realization.
Okay, one question. In this case, we are attaching the network to just one WBS, but normally we divide it.
Configuration. Configuration is part of realization. So we will put SIT and GoLive part of GoLive. Okay, so this is what our project. So now we need to make the connections, right? So to make the connections, what we need to do, the easiest is just to go to the planning, the network graphic. So select any of the network object, go to the network graphic. Okay, then we can make the connection here. Okay. So here what we need to see is, let's say what are the relationships. So BBP, all these BBPs are connected to initiation. So what we need to do, we need to connect finish to start initiation, BBP for FICO, then BBP for MM, BBP for PS, BBP for SD. Okay, now this is done. Next one is each configuration is after the BBP, right? Each configuration comes after the BBP. So let's go back to here. So let's say BBP of configuration FICO will be after BBP of this one. Okay, MM will be after MM.
Where do you change the type of link? Finish to start if I need to change?
Yeah, you just that I will show you from the other one. Inside there is option. For example, here, if I go back, either here you can just touch the which end that automatically come. And if I want to change it anywhere, you go to here, relationship overview. Then here you can change it. What is required. So in the relationship overview, we have predecessor view, successor view, and mixed view. Mixed means both will come together. So if I want to change my predecessor relationship, I can go here. This is my predecessor. Then just open it. Then say which other relationship you want. So that automatically system will change it for. So here we have connected, all configuration is connected. Now is an SIT. So either we can connect it from here or if you want, I can connect it from this one also. I will show you this here. For example, SIT. Okay. SIT, I will go here. Then I want to put all the predecessor. So what are all the predecessor? 60, 70, 80, 90. So here I can just put it 60, 70, 80, network automatically it will take. When you just enter it, it will take that same network. So you can see here. So if I go to the connection, you can see that. So everything is come and connected here. Similarly, if I want to connect the go live, then I can just go to go live. Then my predecessor is 100. So if I look at here, you can see now. Everything is connected. Okay. Now only just connected. Now what I need, I want to do a scheduling. So in a scheduling, SAP standard functionality is there. So what we will do, we will expand the complete structure. All the structures are expanded. Then we will go to the planning board, project planning board. This is the Gantt chart where you will see the Gantt chart. Okay, now you can see all the projects, all the activities are on the same line. Okay. Now when you schedule it, this will move. So to schedule that, what I have to do, I need to click select. So it will select everything. Then I will say schedule. This icon, or there is option edit function schedule also there. Either that way or click this icon. Select or sorry, deselect. Select or then click schedule. So you can see that it's all moved here. Okay, the dates are moved. So now, if you want to bring these dates on the top of the project, what I have to do, edit, reconcile dates, extrapolate. So the date, total date, it is moved up to the project level. So this is the one. So if I want, I can move this, say, this way. Or, you know, here there is an option here, options. For example, this period, if you want, you can change, you know. There is a lot of the planning board, how it should be table area, diagram area, you know, like that you can change. Time mode, how much you want to display, settings, bar text, you know, these are there. So this is, you can change it whatever the way you want it. And there is this is coming based on a configuration profile normally. So that is a default value, but you can change it from here the way you want to look like that. But there is a lot of trial and error you have to do. So I don't remember everything by heart. You have to go and make this, then how does it look, make this, you know, like that you have to understand that. So once you are normally users, you know, people who the schedulers, they learn that and they do that themselves, you know, adjust this width and all those things. So this is what scheduling happens. So now when you schedule it, let's go back and save it. Okay. So let's save this. So now when you go here, let us check what are the, so as per our this one, these things, there should not be any what you call this dates, right? It should be always no floats, right? This earliest date and latest date should be the same dates. So if I look at here, for example, first one is initiation. So if I look at the initiation, if I go to the dates, yeah, you can find that this is the but why negative came? Okay, I think there is an issue. Negative float. This is a backward scheduling, I think that is the issue. It's a backward scheduling, so it should be a forward scheduling that I did not check it. Okay, then forward scheduling. Then what is my date? Should be 1/7. Okay, now I have to go here. Then you need to schedule it. Okay, now it is scheduled. Now edit, cancel date, extrapolate. Okay, so now it is correct. So these dates are come. Okay, so now if I look at it, so this was the start date was gone backward earlier. So it is 01/07/2020. Let me just see. Okay, so if I look at here, let's say initiation, then if I look at the dates, 0 float, okay, and start date, earliest start and latest start will be the same, 17 to 77, 17 to 77. Then if I look at the next one is BBP, what is that next one? BBP for FICO. So if you look at here, 8/7 to 28/7, 8/7 to 28/7, yeah, same date. If I look at MM, next one is MM will have a different date. Here it is a year different. So if you look at here MM, you can see 8/7 to 21/7, 51/7. So there is a float of 5 days. 5 days means 1 week because it's working days it takes system. Okay. Then BBP for PS, you can see there is a 10 days, it means 2 weeks float. If you look at the SD, there is a 4 weeks float. Okay, so if you look at here, SD, you can see 8/7 to 14/7, then 5/8 to 11/8. So it's a 1 month float is there. Okay, you can say 4 weeks float is there. So in configuration MM, yeah.
Yeah, basically we have selected the forward. It should show only earlier, right? It's also showing the latest dates.
No, it will show both. Scheduling is always do both. Any scheduling will do both forward pass and backward pass. So if I am saying forward scheduling means forward fast take will take place first and start date will be mandatory. If I am saying backward scheduling, then it will be backward pass will take first, then finish date will be mandatory. Any scheduling, forward pass and backward pass will do. Without that, you
which
cannot
one I need to consider on this? So if I want to tell the client, we are going for the forward, so we need to tell to earliest.
For example, if it is a customer project and there is a deadline, then you have to use for backward scheduling, right? Because that date is
since it is updating earlier, also latest also. So
no, earlier and latest will update both. That is, don't worry about it. That is the scheduling. Then only because this is what we call scheduling. If you don't have these 2 dates, then what is the meaning of scheduling? So this is what scheduling: earliest date and latest date calculation. Okay. So what I'm telling to you, for example, if you have a project as a deadline, then you need to consider as a backward scheduling because the deadline is fixed, right? You have a go live date. For example, you have some kind of a fair or inauguration.
That I got it. That I got it. If I have selected as a backward, so the person has to overview the latest dates only, right? He has to go through the latest dates.
No. There is nothing. You don't think that way. If you don't have earliest and latest, then how do you consider your critical path?
Okay.
So critical path will be there with because of earliest and latest. So I think you guys are not gone through what is scheduling. That is why that. So what you are seeing, the red ones, these are the critical paths, critical activities. So how do you define a critical activity without earliest and latest dates? Because the difference, if there is no difference, then that is what we call it as a critical activities. So earliest and latest is there, that is considered. That is what scheduling. There will be always forward pass and backward pass. Without that, there is no scheduling. So now only thing is what you need to consider. We want to consider backward first or forward first. That is only we are telling the system whether it is a forward scheduling or backward scheduling. So based on that one, so for example, if it is a forward scheduling, then system will ask from which date you want to start the forward. So that is the reason the start date is mandatory. If you are telling backward is the backward scheduling to be done, then its system will ask you what is your deadline, from where you need to start calculating the backward. So don't confuse with this. This is required for any scheduling. Without this, there is no scheduling. Calculating this due date, that is what we call it scheduling. So don't think that backward means only latest and forward means only earliest. Nothing like that. Both the system will calculate, but only thing is you decide which pass you need to start first. Clear?
Yeah. You can go ahead.
Okay, so if I look at this forward scheduling scenario, now you can find that this all calculated based on, for example, even if you look at the go live activity, then date will be 15/9. So automatic, the same way what we have calculated, it's calculated. Now, for example, if I want to take an example of backward scheduling, so what I will do, I will create another project. Okay, so I will not take this activity first. Okay, so here, anyway, this is project, we'll just save it. So now I will just copy that same project what we have created earlier, same network, I'm saying. So here I will copy a project. I will copy this network. Okay, so suppose I want it backwards. Okay, then I will put a date. Say I want it 15. We know that 15 September. So let's put it 30 September, something like. So at least 2 weeks it should go ahead, right? Then there is an option here, automatic scheduling, something like that. Assignment, scheduling, schedule automatically. So that also I will remove. So it will not schedule automatically. Okay. So here, if I go here, okay. So now let me just drag and drop it. Okay. So now if I go to planning board, okay. So it will be like this, select all, then let's say schedule, okay. Now let's come back. Backwards, 39, 15, 6. Yeah. Okay, then why this is not taken? Initiation, if I take, from where that date is take 15/6. Yeah, 16/7. So it is now 16/7. Now, if I look at here, so it came back to 16/7. So if I look at here, 1/7, but it is 16/9. It means that 2 weeks. So here what I did, I given 2 weeks extra, 39, and put it backward. So it shifted 2 weeks, the start date. So this is what we call it as a backward scheduling. So backward scheduling means, if you look at backward scheduling also, each activity, if you go and look at it, you will find both the dates, earliest date and latest dates. Here also, everywhere it will be there. You can see that. So the same thing, or a float, everything will be the same, but only thing is, date will be shifted. It is calculated from the date which I have given as an end date. So the end date we will be giving as a deadline for project. Now we have one more scenario comes. Okay, so that is, anyway, I will just explain to here. Suppose this is your project duration. Okay, let's say 11 weeks is the project duration. So project duration is 11 weeks. You need 11 weeks to complete the project. And for example, if I start 1st of 7, I know that it will go and finish 16th, September 16th. Okay, but here, for example, now there is a situation comes. Today is what? Today is 13, right? Today is 13. Okay. Now someone will say that my project should finish. I want to finish it on 21st of July. Okay. So 21st of July, so if you look at the calendar, 21st or 22nd, we can say. So here we will get 3 weeks in July, okay, and 2 weeks in, let's say 2 weeks in June, right? 3 weeks in July. So maximum what we will get is 5 weeks. So let's put it in the other way around. Let's say 15th of August. So 15th of August, this is what I needed. The delivery, if you start clearly, it is required 16th of August. It is 11 week is required. But somebody will say, I need a delivery on 15th August. So you calculate a backward scheduling. So 1, 2, for example, 15th of August. So August we have 2, then we have 4, then we have 2 in June. So we have August 2, July 2, and June 2, 4 and July. So this is the total. If I consider today, this is a 10 weeks, sorry, 8 weeks only available. Okay. So now if I do a scheduling using a backward, so you know the problem. If I schedule, you cannot fit it here. So what will be there? If I schedule it, then it will go to like this, the backward, right? If I schedule it, it will go like this. It will not stop here because today is 13th of June. It will go back if I schedule it. Agreed? Because I have maximum available 8 weeks. I have only 8 weeks, so I need 11 weeks. So 3 weeks, it will go back. Got it or confused?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so for example, if I am putting an unrealistic project finish date, then what system will do? System will schedule it. If I use a backward scheduling, system will schedule it in the past. Okay. Now scheduling in the past, it's not practical solution, right? You cannot work yesterday. You can work today and tomorrow only, right? So in real case, this is not applicable. So what we will do, we will put in the configuration, we'll put a condition that no date in past. It is not allowed. We will not allow dates in past. Now, for example, if I do this configuration, then if I put this as a constraint, 15 example, then I will ask them to schedule. Then what system will do? System will check this. So it understood that it is available only 8 weeks, so you cannot finish it. So what system will do? System will take today as the start date and schedule it forward. It will take today as a start date and schedule it forward. So this kind of scheduling is known as today's scheduling. Today's scheduling or current date scheduling. Isn't it? You might have seen in my presentation. Today's scheduling, this purpose. This term, today's scheduling. So why is today's scheduling is happening? It has to meet two conditions. One is past schedule in the past is not allowed. Second thing, the finish date what you are giving for a backward scheduling is unrealistic. If it is a forward scheduling, then this case will not come. So there should be two combinations. One is you are putting a backward scheduling and that date, that finish date what you are giving is unrealistic, and the duration, I mean, you are not allowing to schedule it in the past, then system will take today as the cutoff date and schedule it forward. So this kind of date is scheduling is known as today scheduling. So actually this is what really required. Normally when you do a plan like this, prepare a plan like this, because you don't do these things manually, because it is 5-6 activity. That's why you are able to do it like this. But if you look at if you have a 10,000 or a 6,000 or 4,000 activities, it is not possible to do it this way. It will take too much time. So that is the reason what you will do. You only prepare this. You prepare the activity, you prepare the description, and you give the duration. That's it. Then you will link it. So once you link it, automatically system will tell you what is the duration. So if you are giving the date, so system will tell you that you cannot finish this project within that time period. Then you have to go for some other method. What is that? You have to reduce the duration, or you have to deploy more people and do more parallel activities, like that. You have to do some kind of what you call the time cost trade-offs kind of things we'll do. Normally in project management, there is a concept called the time cost trade-off. So you can reduce the time by increasing the cost. Increasing the cost means you have to bring more people, more resources, and all those things you have to do it. You will, instead of one person working, 10 person you have to work, something like that. So this kind of scenario can be checked in SAP. So normally when you are going for the configurations, you need to make sure that this fast state is not allowed. So what happens? System will take this kind of scenario. So these are the scheduling: forward scheduling, backward scheduling, and today scheduling. So today scheduling is I don't think it will work, because here it is allowing fast in the system. So we need to have a configuration for that, then it will work.
Abdul, today scheduling is almost like a forward scheduling, right?
So yeah, it's a forward scheduling, but it's a forward scheduling. But why it is forward scheduling? That is the reason. Because it is automatically system is considering to the forward scheduling because of these two conditions. One is you are using a backward scheduling, and that duration is the date is not realistic. Within that time period, it is not possible to complete the project, and you are not allowing the scheduling in the past. So system automatically schedule today date, it will take as a cutoff date and schedule it forward.
Okay. So I don't need to do any activities. Based on that, it will automatically take the today scheduling.
Yes, it will take automatically. Only thing is, in the configuration you should mention that date in the past allowed is 0. Number of days allowed in the past on configuration is there. I will show that. I did not go through the network configuration, so I thought we'll complete this, explain the functionality, then we'll show it together. Okay. So now another case comes. So this is what we are talking about, all these activities. So if I look at here, let's say, let us copy paste this. So let's take a case, for example, let's take BBP for MM. This is BBP for MM. Okay, and this is the configuration for MM. So now this is like this, right? When I finish, okay, so it is when I finish the configuration, I will start immediately. I will start the configuration. Okay. Now there can be two cases, right? There can be two scenarios. One is that I will finish the configuration. So before finishing, before 1 week, finishing 1 week, I need to start the configuration. It can be 1 week overlap will come like this. Okay, this is one scenario. Another scenario can be, I have this is done. Okay, this is what we call it as a BBP. Then I will start this configuration after 1 week, like this. So I need a 1 week gap. Okay, so we have one overlapping of 1 week, and here we have a 1 week of gap. So these two scenario can be happen. So this kind of scenario, we call it as a lead. Okay, it is called a lead because you will say between these two activity there is a lead. This kind of scenario we call it as a lag. So this is normally happens in scheduling. One is called lead and another one is called lag. So it can be either a separation apart or it can be an overlap. So this kind of scenarios, how do we address this in SAP? Okay. So for example, if I go to this project, let's say same scenario, the relationship between, for example, first scenario, I want my configuration of MM to be started 1 week earlier. So I will go to my relationship. Okay. Then I can do that. My predecessor. Okay. Here there is something called time interval. So here you can give a time interval value either positive or negative. So if I give value negative, then it will create a leak. If I create a value positive, then it create a lag, which is in SAP we call it as a time interval. So we can have a time interval. So if you create a time interval, then if you give a value negative or positive, if you give a value negative, which is creating a lead, if you give a value positive, then it's creating a lag. So that's what we call it as a time intervals here. For example, here I want a 1 week lead, then I will say -5 days. Okay, then it will solve. I can do that. For in the other project, I want a lag. So what I will do, I will go to the configuration of MM in this here. I'll go to the predecessor. Then I will say I need 5 days. So it is a lag. So this is the difference. So accordingly, what happens? Systems, if you schedule it again, then automatically that date will change. For example, if I look at here, what is my go live date? So there will be a difference in the go live date. For example, if I do a scheduling. It's 15/9. The other one. Configuration of MM. Yeah, so here. I think I put it in the wrong entry. I have to go to this BBP for MM. Then here, then the successor side. Yeah, it's correct one. 5 days less. So here, what I will check, dates are 23/7/58. Yeah, I think it's changed, right? This is which is the project you're 10. Okay, sorry, other one. Dates 8/7/21/7, 8/7/21/7. Okay, 15/7, 8/7/21/7. Now, if I go to this configuration configuration of is 22/7/29/7. So that is actually 29/7. It's even it is moved for 1 week, because here what is the condition I put? Here the condition I put 1 week plus, right? So if I put 1 week plus, means it is moving 1 week. So here it is moved 1 week if I look at the dates. But now you will be thinking why there is no date change in the overall project. You know what is the reason? The reason is the changes I made is in the non-critical activities and within the float. So if I'm making any changes within the float, it won't affect the entire schedule, or we can say it won't affect the critical path. So here I moved the 1 week. This is I moved 1 week. You can see it here. The the configuration of I moved it 1 week. You can see that here. Okay, 29/7. Earlier it was 22/7. So I moved to 1 week. But it did not affect the entire project schedule. The reason being, this belongs to non-critical activity. Now, if I do the same thing for a critical activity, for example, if I say configuration, because here it is 0 float. So if I say here, go to relationships, then I will say my successor, which is the configuration. I need a 5 days lag. So now if I do a scheduling, for example, so you can see it is moved 1 week. The entire project is moved. Why? Because the changes I am making on the critical path. So this is the reason what we need to do during the project. Always we need to look into the critical path. What are the activities which belongs to the critical path? So if you make any delay for any activity or any change in this schedule of this activity, will affect the entire project completion date. So that's why the critical path is very critical. Clear? This lead, lag, scheduling, forward scheduling, backward scheduling, today scheduling, so all this concept.
Abdul, this critical path system will automate.
Sorry.
Yeah, Abdul, can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's clear. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, this critical path system will automatically identify, or before that we need to identify? So,
No, system will automatically identify. That is the use of the system. No, that is the not only this system. Any scheduling software is used for that purpose only. Because we need to identify that. That is important.
okay. So this critical path is something like a milestone, or it's not like that?
No, milestone is different. That we will come to that. Milestone is something that we are showing some kind of deliverable or some achievement.
Okay.
This is the critical activities, how the path is there.
Okay.
Abdul, the critical path means that the backward schedule and forward schedule both date it be same. That is the critical path.
The critical path means these activities where there is no float.
Okay.
So this is the longest path.
Backward scheduling and
so you can see the project duration is identified based on the critical path activities. The total of the critical path will be the project duration. That is, we call it as the longest path in a project. So that is the longest path means that will take the maximum time to complete the activities in a project.
Okay.
Yeah, so these activities, whatever the activity which is falling under critical path, then those activities should require a close monitor. Otherwise, project will delay.
Abdul, if we are doing like MS project of Primavera, this earlier start date, end date will be automatically come from MS project tool, right? So we need to do any scheduling in HCP.
Everywhere, all the software you have to give. But there is options are there. Basic start, basic finish concept is there in MS project, which is a kind of manually fixing the date. That option is there in SAP also. I have not shown that one. That will show you, which we call it as a constraints.
No. Basically, this earliest start and earliest and latest start, these things are automatically
yes, this is a system
while
calculation.
doing scheduling.
This is a system calculation.
When we are integrating with MS project, whether those date also I can able to send it how these things will happen, earliest start date and latest end dates.
Latest start that system will schedule. Now, so for example, you are how do you are sending it? For example, there is a different way of implementing it. Sometimes, if you are just sending only the duration, because normally it sends duration and relationships, then you can do a scheduling in the system. Yeah, then you can do a scheduling in the system. Or there is an option you can send it as a constraint. So it means there is no relationship is required. So that way also can be possible.
Okay.
So when you are sending relation and duration, then automatically system calculates the earliest and latest. But you will find some difference between SAP and MS project, because that algorithm, what SAP uses to calculate these dates and what Microsoft algorithm, some changes are there, some differences there. But if you look at Primavera, it is almost the same. You will not say 100%, but you can say 99.9% same. So you will find very, very minimum difference only. You look at both the calculation and algorithm. Because each software has their own algorithm, the way to calculate what need to take first, then what will be connect second, then how do we connect second, third, and all those things. So based on that one, the system. See here, we have used a manual algorithm, right? I said you calculate this first, then go back this, but may not be. This is not the maybe the same way what system is calculating it.
Okay.
So that concept will change. There is a slight difference there. So that is why you will find this MS project and SAP one, and there is some other difference also there. Most of the software other than SAP, you cannot keep plan date and actual date as different dates. So that is another thing is there. Those kind of issues also there. Because whenever you confirm, then automatically that actual date will become plan date. So then how do you know what was my initial plan and what is the latest plan? Then for that you have to give, they have a concept called baseline concept. So in SAP we have a concept called version. So I have not gone to that one. So we need to go to that first. So there are differences are there between the softwares. So we cannot say it is apple to apple, but almost similar functionalities are available.
Okay.
Okay, then. So what we will do, so next class we will go through the configuration for this. Okay, so you understood what is float, what is this, what is all this, what is lead, lag, how do you make time interval and all those things. So as far as from the configuration point, it's not much configurations are not there as far as scheduling is concerned, because this engine This scheduling engine is SAP special. They have built in, so we don't need to do much on that one. So it's very strong engine, so we can use that one. So anyway, if somebody asks you to do some kind of customization, better to avoid that touching these kind of engines. So that will create a lot of issues. So the scheduling is actually basically you don't need to do much in SAP. First, what you need to do, how to use it to learn. That is what I shown you. Create activity, make the relationship. That's it. That is the how to use it. Then second thing, you need to conceptually understand how the system is calculating, how it will behave. So that's it. So the rest configuration is very minimum. The rest all already available in SAP as an engine, the functionality.